I've owned, sold, and parted out nearly a dozen BMWs over the past 10 years. Some were nice, and some not so nice. Here's the real scoop on owning a BMW and whether that's the right move for you. There's no doubt that BMW makes incredible performance cars. Sleek, powerful, and often iconic. But that comes with a price tag. The cheapest 2025 3 Series BMW starts at around $47K, and they go up from there. Enter teenage me. I didn't want that beater truck. I wanted something with a little more pizzazz for my first vehicle. But let's be real, the loan officer wasn't about to hand $47K to a teenager with a W-2 at Subway.
No way.
No matter how many free sandwiches I offered. So what did I do? I surfed Craigslist and I found a $3,000 1996 328i. It was perfect. Cheap, less than 100,000 miles, and nicer than the alternative option. But what my teenage brain didn't consider was the real cost of keeping that car on the road. And I see so many first-time BMW bargain hunters falling into the same trap. You hop on Facebook Marketplace, spot those BMWs selling for under 10K or 10% of what they MSRP'd at, and think, hey, we got ourselves a deal, right? Not necessarily. These cars are priced low for a reason. Those future repair bills are already factored in. Labor is notoriously expensive on European luxury vehicles, and BMW is no different. Parts can even cost you 3 or even 4 times as much as what they might cost on a domestic vehicle. Now, most people think that BMWs are simply unreliable. They're made to fall apart vehicles. In some cases, yeah, BMW engineers don't always consider ease of maintenance. But there's a bigger factor at play here. BMW owners often treat their cars like absolute garbage. A maintenance schedule is there for a reason, but many BMW owners treat it as an optional suggestion. They duct tape fixes, and then a year or two later, they dump the vehicle on Facebook Marketplace. By the time the car actually gets listed, it might have just been prettied up to sell, but you have no idea what's actually been done under the hood. And then you're left holding the bag when things start to break. Case in point, a few years ago, I almost bought another E90. Me and my pops drove out to meet this guy at a sketchy mall parking lot. The first warning sign I saw was that the guy used duct tape to patch up a hole in the door panel. Not good. So next, I pop up the hood and take a look at the hole. Lo and behold, pitch black. How frequently do you think this guy was actually doing oil changes? And if basic oil changes weren't being done to the car, can we even trust that anything else is being done properly? With all of these issues, you might wonder why on earth have I owned so many of these cars, and why you might buy one. So when these things are running good, nothing compares. The driving experience is absolutely unmatched. Yes, you can buy cars with more horsepower than a 3 Series, but you're not gonna find any cars that handle so effortlessly like a 3 Series. Personally, I'm still in love with the dolphin-shaped E36s, but the F30s have a really nice style, and I can never forget about the box-style E30s. But here's the key. You absolutely have to do your homework. If you're thinking about buying a used BMW, take some time to really study the model. Some models like the modern G23 series have a pretty good reliability score. But you absolutely have to get the car inspected by a third-party mechanic before you commit to buying it. Yeah, individual sellers aren't going to like this very much, but you will save so much money. And if you're set on getting a BMW, learning some basic wrench turning will definitely save you a ton. You don't have to have a deep working knowledge of automotive repair to change oil, spark plugs, or do other basic maintenance. Seriously. Go check back to some of my old videos when I was an 18-year-old kid. I was learning all of this stuff on the fly. There's also a massive community out there, tons of DIY guides, YouTube channels, and BMW-oriented forums. And they're all dedicated to keeping your car on the road without breaking the bank. If you don't want to get into turning wrenches, in my experience, indie mechanics tend to be a much better bang for your buck than the dealership. The good ones have all that same expensive equipment that the dealership has, but their hourly rate is a lot lower, and they just feel a lot less scammy than the dealership. Cheap BMWs definitely aren't for everybody. They typically require a lot of time, money, mechanical know-how, or a combination of all three. But owning them taught me a hell of a lot about how cars work, and I've gotten to drive some pretty sick machines along the way.